so I can see what we can see. Hello, hello. Good morning, everybody. Double checking my thing, seeing what, so I can see what y'all see. And there we are. There we are. How are you, Michelle?
Hi, how are ya?
There you are. I'm so happy that you are with us today.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
It was when okay, I love your stuff. And good morning, Paula, how are you? Thank you for joining us. When I get excited about a new pattern or I get excited about a new product, I hunt people down and try to get them on the show. Good morning, Ellen. And when I saw your book come out, I got so excited. And so I'm like, I have got to find her. And you were one of the easier ones. You were super nice to contact and communicate with. Good morning. Good morning. Hi, Hal Crochets. Hi, Paula. So I was super excited that you agreed to come on today and that we found a date that worked out for everybody. That's often the hardest part, is finding a date that works for everybody. So it's really exciting when it does. I want to tell you right off. Good morning, Wanda. I am not ignoring you. If I look over here, I can see the comments better on my other screen. I've gotten my hand slapped by my viewers for ignoring my guest. I'm like, no, I'm not ignoring. I can actually see this way. For some reason, something about the computer, and I don't know if it's the light or whatever, but I have a hard time reading off of the computer. So it's much better on my other screen.
All right.
Good morning, Wanda. I'm so glad you joined us. Wanda is a truck driver, so it's hit and miss if she's going to join us or not. So this is wonderful. Well, welcome, Miss Michelle. Thank you so much for joining us today. Michelle is coming to us from sunny Florida. So she's already got nice weather, and we are back to pouring rain again this morning. Mm-hmm. But at least it's not pouring snow like it was, I don't know, a week ago. Seems like it's a week ago. It wasn't quite, but close. And we were in Florida, a month ago? We took a cruise, and we cruised out of Miami. So we got to enjoy some Florida rain for several days. It rained when we were leaving. It rained when we came back.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's right. It was over Easter. It was over Easter when we were there. So, but right now you've got nicer weather. You're getting into your sunshine.
Yes. Well, we're actually getting into rainy season. In the winter, it is dry, like so dry here. And then around June, we start to get those daily afternoon thunderstorms. Mm-hmm. So we've gotten a little bit, but it's been really, really dry. So we will welcome the rain.
Okay. Yeah, we get. Our snow went much longer this year than it normally does.
Yeah.
It was snowing when we got back from our cruise. So after Easter, we still had a little tiny bit of snow.
Wow.
Oh, goodness. Can you say hi? This is, yes, I know. This is Topaz. And Topaz thinks she needs to be in the middle of everything. Are you an animal person?
I have 2 doggies. So yes, I love animals. And we have 2. I have a Lucy and a Lexi.
Oh, nice. And what kind of puppies are they?
Lucy is like a beagle mix, and Lexi is black lab or lab mix of some kind. So nice. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So she's a little bit bigger, and Lucy's short and chubby.
Does she have that beagle bark?
Yeah. Well, no, not as much like the howl. She doesn't howl much, but
that's good.
Yeah. So, but she has the beagle colors and everything. I swear we haven't checked. We need to. I want to, but I think she's like beagle and corgi. She has like the corgi booty walk, you know?
I mean, that would be a good mix.
Yeah. I want to get it. I want to get her checked, but she's like short and she has the beagle colors, and so I don't know what she is, but
they've got that, that, what do they call that? That 1, 2, 3 me or whatever for dogs.
Yeah, I have dogs. I know. I want to do that. I think I'm going to. I think my sister did it with her dog.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, so I just need to do it. But she's something. Funny. She's got some beagle in her and whatever else. So she's a cutie.
We're obviously big animal people around here. So, well, good. I'm so glad again that you were able to join us today. So you are multi-talented. You have the YouTube, you do the blog, you do the Etsy, you do the Ravelry, you do all the things.
Yeah.
So tell us how you got started on YouTube.
Okay. Well, YouTube is actually one of my newer ventures. I started crocheting almost over 12 years ago. I think it's been 12 years now, when I was pregnant with my son, my youngest son. He'll be 12 in November. So it's been a little over 12 years. And then got into designing a couple years later. Had started a website, started the Etsy and Ravelry selling patterns and stuff like that. And then I think I started YouTube maybe like 2016, did a few things here and there. And then just recently, within the last like 2 or 3 years, have like really worked into, weekly. And I did a little bit of a podcast type thing for a while, where it was, just informative, crochet videos, teaching and telling people about things. And then lately I've been doing a lot of tutorials, like stitch tutorials and stuff like that. So yeah, it's one of my probably newest venues of where I'm at on the internet these days. So yeah.
And are you enjoying doing the YouTube? Because it's a whole different world from writing.
It is. It's very different, and it takes a different amount of time. Like there's a process to it, a whole process to it. I'm so glad for like smartphones now and Bluetooth and everything, because I can just use my phone and a Bluetooth microphone and all that, which makes it so much easier. And then like it goes up in the cloud, and then I can pull it up on my computer and edit and do all that. So it is a process. I'm trying to be consistent with it. But that in and of itself is a struggle. So I enjoy it. I do like it. I do like doing. I especially feel like I would like to get back into it eventually. Like the talking, like the podcasty teaching type stuff. I really like to do that kind of thing. So, but I like the tutorials as well. I figured out I'm left-handed, so I crochet left-handed. So I figured out how to flip it so I can do left and right. So that makes things a lot easier too. But yeah, I like it.
It's so interesting. I don't think I was even aware that you were left-handed until this morning. I was like, wow, I didn't realize you had this many tutorials. I'm like, oh, good, because I struggle with the herringbone. I've done it 2 or 3 times, and I'm like, this doesn't look like anything. I'm not doing this again. And so then the herringbone caught my eye this morning. And then when I realized that you were left-handed, I'm like, that's fairly unusual to have a left-handed instructor. And I think it's really good, because I am left-handed, but I crochet right-handed.
Oh yeah.
And those of you guys that have been watching me forever, the debacle I went through with the knitting. I knit left-handed until this year, when I finally said, this is not working. And I taught myself to knit right-handed. So I'm very ambidextrous. But I really didn't realize that you were left-handed.
Yep.
And
very dominantly left-handed too. Like I cannot do much of anything with my right hand.
I don't know why I ended up being ambidextrous, but I'm there. In fact, at this point in time, there's only really a very few things I do left-handed anymore. I write, I eat left-handed. I struggle if I have to eat right-handed. And I don't think people know that eating left-handed and right-handed is even a thing.
Right, I know.
You got to be on the outside chair. You're going to run into someone.
Yeah.
And I tie my shoes left-handed. So my bow always goes up and down instead of sideways.
Oh, yep. Mine too. Do you cut? I cut with my right hand, just because that's always
been what it's been.
Yeah, it's too uncomfortable to do it left-handed, because they don't make the scissors. I mean, they have left-handed scissors.
They do now, but they're not.
Yeah, but that's rare, especially like when we were in school and stuff. So I do that. I think I throw a ball right-handed, just because that's how I saw everybody do it. But everything else, I am very left-handed.
I can I putt with both hands.
Oh yeah?
So
I think I can probably do that
too.
Yep.
But isn't that funny?
So, but yeah. Maybe that's why I'm not good at knitting either. I've learned, but I had the hardest time with it. So maybe
it's a struggle.
it has to do with that.
It is a struggle. And what I figured out was the easiest way to knit left-handed, for me anyway, was to do continental. Because with continental knitting, you're already using both hands. So it kind of doesn't matter which way you're doing one thing or the other.
Yeah.
But the problem is, and you probably ran into the same thing when you were learning to crochet, is everybody's teaching right-handed. And so it worked fine if I was sitting right across from someone and I could mirror them.
Yeah.
But when they're giving instructions and when you're following patterns, and it really came to a head. I was trying to make these awful socks, the sock saga. So I was trying to make these socks, and I kept telling my teacher, my needle isn't there. The yarn isn't there. And finally she looked at it. Well, according to the pattern, I should have been over here, but because I'm left-handed, I was over here.
Yeah.
And what I needed to do was over here. And I'm like, I can't do this anymore. And I just sat down next to her, watched her knit for a while, and then just literally it was a matter of switching what I did with one hand. It wasn't that hard. But it was such a battle with patterns. And so, having said that, that's a long lead into a short question. With crochet patterns, do you find that left-handed, can you do most patterns that are written right-handed, left-handed?
Yes, you can do just about. The only thing is, when I first learned how to crochet, I was working. How was I doing it? The wrong side was facing me all the time. And I was like, wait, and then I finally figured that out. But
wrong side.
When you're reading a pattern, the only issue you would have as far as like where it would mess you up is if you're working with like letters, that'll be backwards.
Yes.
Charts and then if you're working like a cardigan or something where there's specific left and right panels, it would be the opposite. So in my patterns, I like to write left panel, right for left-handed, like in the parentheses, just so people can know. But sometimes, right-handed crocheters or designers don't realize that.
Yeah,
so you just have to know as a left-handed crocheter, okay, it's the opposite. So that's the only time that it's a big deal. But if it's like just working in the round or just working a straight, rows, it doesn't have any effect. And the thing about like crochet stitches is the stitches are worked exactly the same. The steps to create the stitch are exactly the same. So you're just working left to right if you're left-handed. So it's the same. And I feel like a lot of left-handed crocheters or a lot of left-handed people don't learn to crochet because of that, like fear that they're not going to be able to read the patterns and stuff. So I try to make that like known, like it's okay, you can do it, you can read a pattern, it's all going to be the same. So I
think that's probably easier than knitting left-handed, right-handed. So yeah, Ellen, the left-handed scissors never work. Wanda, I don't remember. Do you knit as well as crochet? Wanda is a very prolific crocheter. I don't remember if she knits. And Ellen, it sounds like Ellen is left-handed as well. Do you knit also? I found it. I remember we were having a grand. I was having, it wasn't a grand. It was a niece. And I wanted to knit her something. I didn't know how to knit. So my mother and I took a knitting class. And I made something, and it had a cable down the front. The cable ended up on the other side.
Oh, yeah. So it's probably a lot more different for right-handed.
No, Wanda does not knit either. Okay. So
yeah, I tried. I probably should try again. It's been a couple of years, but
the basic things, I mean, even because I think it takes a while. The fun thing with crochet in my mind is I can be a brand new crocheter, and within a few weeks I am making some pretty, I don't want to say complex, but I am making some stitch combinations. I can make some very beautiful different things. When you learn to knit, you are doing very basic rows for a very long time.
Yeah.
Before you can move on to what I would consider the next step.
Right.
And so with me, because I'm not a good knitter, I just did a baby blanket. I just finished it. and turned out very nice. I was very pleased with it. But I think as a beginning knitter, I have to get my interest from the yarn. Whereas a basic crocheter, you can get your interest from the stitches.
Yeah.
Pretty close off.
Right. That makes sense. Yeah.
Oh, okay, Ellen. So Ellen does knit, but she knits and crochets right-handed.
Oh, yeah.
I thought you did knit, Ellen. I thought you did. But the funny thing is, and it makes no sense. It makes no sense. I can crochet up a washcloth in almost minutes, right? If I'm going to knit a washcloth, it takes me a long time, but I love knitting washcloths. I don't know why.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense. But, so obviously you do a lot of wearables, and your wearables are wonderful. Okay, so you've got your YouTube channel. What's the name of your blog?
Two Brothers Blankets.
Two Brothers Blankets. What is we can also find you. I know I've got you on Ravelry. I've got you on Speed Dial on Ravelry. Oh, there's Cheryl. We were just talking about you, Cheryl. Okay, Cheryl, what time is it where you are? It always amazes me. That's right. She's a knitter and a crocheter. Miss Cheryl is often correcting me, not correcting me. She's helping me when I'm stuck often, which is a lot of the time. And you know, it's so funny because sometimes, and this is the fun of being part of a crochet or a yarn community. It's 1:15 in the morning, Cheryl. We are so lucky that she's always joining us at these bizarre times. So I was struggling with the simplest little thing. I was making a granny square cocoon. I mean, come on. And I kept forgetting when I got to my corner to do that extra stitch in the corner. And it was like, why is my brain doing this? And she just goes, put a stitch marker in there as a reminder. Never had a problem with it again. And it's because it's so simple, I'm not paying the least bit of attention. And next thing I know, I've got this round corner and ripping it out 3 times. So that's the thing I love about our community, is something that is so the simplest little things that we just don't think of. Somebody else can throw you out an answer or a suggestion to fix something that sometimes you didn't even know was a problem. And they're like, hey, you know, if you do this, oh, thanks. And, you know, like putting that stitch marker at the end so you don't increase when you're first getting started. You don't increase your stitches and have your thing go like this. That helps tremendously. And it's such a simple little thing that if you're a new crocheter, you don't know what to do. Yeah. And that's part of what I love about our crochet community and doing this kind of a thing allows you to connect with people and get the hints and things that. And now, did you teach yourself?
I did. But I used YouTube. When I wanted to learn, I went to Walmart. I got a skein of Red Heart Super Saver yarn, like the metal straight stick crochet hooks, and a little book that was like tiny little beginner crochet book. And I used that, and then I found some stuff on YouTube and learned more on YouTube, and
off you went.
Put it down. After my son was born, I had a 2.5-year-old and a newborn, so I didn't touch my yarn for like a year, and then picked it back up and could not stop. Like, haven't stopped since. And he's almost wonderful. 12, so
that is wonderful. So your Ravel, I'm sorry, I do this all the time. I jump all over the place. Sometimes I actually get back on track. Sometimes I don't. Your Ravelry and your Etsy are both also just the Two Brothers
Blankets. Yep.
Okay. It's nice that you've got a name.
I think Ravelry. I think it's Two Brothers Blankets.
Okay.
I know I have like a username or something too, but I think it's all Two Brothers Blankets. You can find me.
Do you have one
just my name? I think on Ravelry we'll pull them up too.
I think that's how I find it on Ravelry. It's just with your name.
Yeah.
Do you have that IG stuff too? Do you have all those fancy
Instagram? TikTok? Yes. I do Instagram and Facebook, mostly Facebook, and I have a Facebook group as well. So all the things. I can't say that I'm consistent with all of them, or always on, but I do my best.
It
It's a
is
lot of things.
hard. It's a lot of things, and every one of them is different. You got to do it differently, and
Always
you'd like to.
changing. Yeah,
Yes,
something's always
yes,
changing.
always
So
changing,
yeah.
and sometimes
Yep.
you'd like to actually crochet.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. Oh, it's like, this or crochet. I'm gonna
Mhm.
crochet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We I have a granddaughter who says like, "Grandma, you have to have Instagram." I'm like, "No, I'm not learning a new thing. I know I won't be able to keep up with it. And what does it do anyway?" So I just send her pictures and she posts. She handles the
There you go.
Instagram.
Yep.
I got to send her
That's a
more
good
pictures
idea.
though. It's been a few weeks. So
Yeah.
yeah, I just
Yeah.
can't. And then the reels,
That's a
and she's like,
lot.
Are you gonna do a reel?" I'm like, What's a reel?
Yep.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
say no
It's a lot.
because I don't even know what we're talking about. But
Yep.
you young people, you've got this stuff all figured out.
Whew, I wish. It's just so much. It is. It is.
It's so much.
I started on Facebook though, so that's probably where my biggest audience is and where I'm at the most. I feel like it's us
Okay.
millennials. That's our Instagram. But I do have Instagram and I try to get on there and post, but it's a lot. It's a lot. So yeah, most of the time you can find me on Facebook the most. That's where I'm usually hanging out.
And
yeah.
again, the Two Brothers Blankets for Facebook as well.
Mm-hmm.
And is
Two
that one
Brothers
of those?
Blankets, and my group is Two Brothers Blankets Crochet Community.
Okay.
You can search it and it should pop up.
And all of that stuff is going to be in your about page on the YouTube. See, yep. I know how to do that. The one thing I can do. And you'd think I could handle Facebook pretty easily because that's where I started out. But I struggle with that sometimes as well. I can't, it annoys me that I can't like find a conversation that it's here and
right.
then
it's always,
the
news feed. Like, yeah, it is.
I just want to ask about this.
Right. Yeah.
I can't do it. But and then on Etsy and Ravelry, it is you are also on Amazon.
Yes.
The book is also on Amazon.
Yep. That's a new thing.
I follow you there as well as the other 15 places. So I think that's just like, wow.
I know. That was really cool when I first saw it on Amazon.
Yeah, it's so cool. Well, the Ravelry and the Etsy, those things are predominantly your patterns, the PDFs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you also have I know, I want to say, who knows, but I want to say I first found you from somebody's blog hop.
Probably. Yeah, I've done some blog hops. Yep.
And boy, that looks like a lot of work too, doing one of those blog hops. Man. Oh,
yeah, to host one. The hosting part is a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've done 2 now. And it's a commitment for sure.
It's a lot. Yeah. I'm in the middle of my very first crochet along, and it's it's been a lot of fun, but there's a lot of planning that goes into them.
Yeah.
And it's not even my pattern, it's somebody else's pattern. And I got their permission. Of course, I got their permission. I wouldn't do it without permissions. We are on this channel, we are adamant about following the rules and not stepping on toes and getting permission and giving full credit to creators. So, yeah. Oh, okay. Interesting question from Wanda. When you crochet, it's one of those things, Wanda, where she's going to have to do it to answer your question. Does your hook go away from you or towards you when you crochet? See, right? It's like, I don't know. I just do it.
I don't know. But I think it was, so when I realized it, I think it was, I was in the round. Like I was working in the round when I realized. But like now I know what the right side is and the wrong side. So I just naturally face the right side to me. So, because I remember like making a hat, I think it was, and I was like, so away from me? I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, I think it's more away.
So you kind of go out when you do your hook.
Can we see it? Yeah,
Here,
I kind of go outward.
Let's make you big so we can see. There you go. Okay.
This is weird. Okay.
I know, isn't it?
I'm putting my hook outward, I think. But like I said, I learned from I do this wrap around 3 times. I learned that, I think, from that little book that I bought, and I wish I had, like, I wish I could get out of that habit.
Yeah, that looks a little
tension like that. Like, depending on the yarn, it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
And I hate crocheting like on a table. I always
you gotta sit back.
I crochet different, but I think away. I think I'm away. I don't know.
And then it looks like you're a knife hold.
Yes.
Yep. Knife hold.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and there's that furls hook.
Yeah.
Furls.
I am only the wood, the streamlined wood. Really? I don't love the resin ones. I
am almost predominantly resin. I don't even grab my wood ones anymore.
Really? I love how lightweight they are. Like the
yeah, they're very lightweight.
What are the ones that are
the pretty metal ones? I can't even use those anymore. And I've got them all in a rack there.
What are these ones?
They're too heavy. I don't know.
They're way too heavy.
They're way too heavy. And you know the funny thing? They are 1 ounce heavier.
Oh, wow.
But when you're using them, man, the only time I grab one is if I can't find one of the size I need, and I know I'm only going to use it for a little while. The Odyssey. Yeah, the Odyssey.
Something, a small project. I even like the cheapest of the cheap of these, like the wood. I don't remember what it's called, but just because they're even lighter. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. I like but I before I use these, I use the Hobby Lobby ones that have the wooden, and then the really, because that's what I like. Because I'm left-handed, probably I use a lot of the
Oh, I do too, though. I
hate the ones that are like
really short
right there. Yeah. So that's why I like this one.
Like the long
or this time, because I can use as much of it as I wanted. And that's why I like the Hobby Lobby ones. But those were even too thin. I needed more here, but I needed lots of room here.
Yeah. So I literally just got this in the mail this morning, and it's a Haya, which I did not even know they made crochet hooks.
Oh, wow.
There, Haya. And it's the basic shape. And Anya from Ophelia Talks, this is what she uses, and she swears by it. So I had to have one.
Yeah.
And it was a whopping $4.
Oh, nice.
Right?
Very nice.
Because Haya is like a very high-end knitting. And I thought this thing was going to be $15 or $20. It was $3.99. Yeah. In fact, the shipping cost more than the hook cost.
Oh.
I had to order it from Amazon because I could not find any place in town that had one. And this was literally the only size they had. So this was it. But she swears by this thing. So I had to try it out. But I literally just opened it 10 minutes ago. So I haven't played with it or touched it. But it doesn't feel any different than any other, like a boy or any other hook. So I'm going to be interested. But is
it lightweight?
Yeah. It's lightweight, it's like any of your little aluminum hooks. Paula loves her Haya hook. So apparently the crochet is just phenomenal. Nice. But there's a trick. I heard the trick is you have to rub it in your hair first.
Okay.
Is it, Paula? Is that what you do? You rub it in your hair first? I heard that's a thing. You have to rub it in your hair first. That's getting tangled up in my hair. But apparently there's some kind of coating on here that you have to wear off first. And that's the best way to do it, is rub it in your hair.
Interesting.
Cheryl, she says she uses whatever hook she can grab. Yep, Paula says that's what you got to do. You got to rub it in your hair first. So I cannot wait to try this. And I agree, Cheryl. I don't care about the brand name of a hook. But what I have learned is, with my hands, with my arthritis, with my big hands, I have giant hands. I don't like short hooks. The Clover more that everybody raves about rubs right here, and I get a blister. Now, Dana loves the Clover Soft Touch that ugly mustard brown thing.
Mm-hmm. I have
And
some
I
of those.
finally bought one and I love it.
Yeah.
I love it more than my furls. But
Mm.
it's got a little bit of a handle, but not enough. Not
Yeah.
enough. So I
Yeah.
still
I
have
need long. Yeah.
that big handle. But the
Yeah.
hook part of it is phenomenal. What are you
Mm-hmm.
doing? What are you
Aw.
doing? Oh, Lion Brand has a bunch of them. Okay, good to know. Thank you, Wanda. Okay, she brings her hook towards her while
So
she.
yeah, I get what. Okay. Yeah, I do it away. I've seen people do that though. Like, I don't. Yeah. I think I'm the opposite.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I wish I didn't hold it the way I did. But that's just how I learned. And once I got in the habit.
Yeah, once you got it down, it's really hard.
Like I've tried, and I like how some people can like put their yarn.
Yeah, I whip mine around my little finger and then over my hand and then hold it up like that.
I feel like my tension would be all wonky.
It takes
I
a while.
do it. It's just not the same. Yeah.
And I was teaching a crochet class Saturday and trying to get those girls to hold that yarn. And I told them, you can go buy one of those holder thingy bobbers, which I have thought about doing for my knitting. For my knitting, because I wrap my yarn for my knitting the same way I do for crochet. And I find that like every 2 or 3 stitches, I have to rewrap it.
Yeah.
So I thought about
that's what I do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe I'll.
Who was it that does both crochet and knit? Do you hold your yarn the same for crochet as you do for knit to get your tension? Ow, ow. Don't bite grandma. No biting grandma. Boy, their little teeth are just like needles. Come here. Sit up here and look cute. Don't bite me. Look cute. Yesterday, she grabbed a stick out of the yard and she was prancing around the yard carrying this stick that's 3 times longer than she is. I don't think of cats as carrying sticks around, but she. Are you coming back up? I'm so afraid she's going to hit her head when she jumps up here. Hit her head on the table. Okay, so 2 brothers blankets. How did you get your name?
So I have 2 boys, and so originally I was just going to sell product, and I loved making blankets and baby blankets. So that's where the blankets came in. And then I have 2 boys, and I was like, oh, 2 brothers blankets. That's catchy. It's cute. Then I got into pattern. So that's what I made my Etsy shop to do my stuff. Then I got into patterns, and then I got into garments, which is my thing now. So, but it's stuck. It's catchy, and I haven't changed it. So,
it's adorable.
And it's my 2 boys. Like, yeah, it'll always be for my 2 boys. So,
yep. And it's an easy name to remember.
Yeah.
Many of the names that are out there, they're either too generic or they're too cutesy. Like they're trying to make a
hard
fun.
To remember.
I can't remember what your name is, but I don't. For some reason, and Michelle. I've got a kiddo named Michelle, so that helps.
Oh yeah,
that helps.
Yeah,
but I like the name of. I like the name of it, and I like the story behind it, and maybe that's why it resonates with me as well. So you originally started selling product, selling your blankets. Wow,
yep, I did like a little Etsy shop and did like baby blankets, and I got like you get a lot of requests from family and friends, and so it was like hats. And I remember one of my first orders was a little cardigan. And she wanted a cardigan for her daughter and a matching cardigan for her daughter's American Girl doll.
Oh,
so I had to figure that out and resize it. Oh, that was little things like that. But then I started designing. I designed a sweater and really found that I enjoyed that a lot. So got into more of that. Kind of tried to do both for a while, maybe a year. And then I was like, nope, I just want to design. I don't want to be like, oh, I got to finish this order before I can design something or whatever. So went straight to just designing, and then been doing that ever since.
And I'm always amazed that people can pull something out of their head and turn it into an item. I don't have that power. And when you guys can do that, I am so amazed, and so think that's just fantastic.
I never thought I could do it either. And then I think one day it just like clicked. Oh, I just have to make it fit, or whatever. So, and I've learned so much along the way. Like I always say, like designing is constant learning. Like I'm constantly learning new ways to make it fit, new ways to, things and different techniques or different, ideas. And it's just constant learning, which is, I think that's what makes it so enjoyable for me too. Like I always want to be learning and challenging myself and stuff like that. So, but it's pretty cool and it's fun.
Well, and when you can do it, it would be.
Well, yeah.
The other thing that is super cool about your patterns is the size inclusion. I can't tell you. I mean, you're a little tiny thing, and I am not. I am the opposite of a little tiny thing. But what I find is so many times people say size inclusive, and it goes up to an extra large. I'm like, really? That's basic as far as I'm concerned. And I know, because I am a big girl, not everything that looks good on you is going to look good on me. And that's just the fact of life. And so even when something is size inclusive, you still have to look at the design and the structure of the product, see if it's even going to work or look good. And so I know there is a lot of work. It isn't just, okay, add 6 more stitches for this size. There's you're redesigning the pattern to make it look good on somebody from extra small to 5X.
Yeah.
You're dealing with different
different sizes. Yeah. And I think that's why I spend a lot of time like with my YouTube channel and on my blog talking about learning how to adjust patterns to fit you. Like that's huge. Like us as designers are given a standard. We're given this size chart that like maybe some people fit into, but a lot of people don't. Like even I don't fit the measurements of the exact size chart. And so learning how to take somebody's pattern that they use those basic measurements for and knowing how you can adjust it to fit you really well. Like where if you need more room in the hips, which is where I
me too. I've got that silly.
Or like I have a smaller bust, but I have bigger hips. So I always have to accommodate for my hips. But you can do that just by changing hook size or, you know what I mean? Like, so without having to do a bunch of math and all that. So I think that's why I really spent a lot of time. Like you can make this pattern to fit you and fit you really, really good. You just got to know these few little things that you can do to adjust and you're going to make it fit.
And that is, again, one of the miracles and the blessing of YouTube and live videos. And I can read a pattern. I've read patterns my whole life. I've been crocheting since I was 7 when my grandma taught me in the backseat of the car on a road trip. So I'm sure it was just to shut me up because as you can tell, I talk. But I don't ever remember learning how to read a pattern. I also don't remember ever crocheting without one. So she must have taught me right from the beginning.
Right. Yeah.
And, but even reading patterns, the way you write a pattern is different from the way she writes a pattern and she writes a pattern. And many people who write patterns do not follow the rules. And so you're trying to follow this pattern and it ain't working. And so it is wonderful to have, yes, I've got my written pattern and I've got a video showing me how to do this. And oh dear God, that's what she means. And it just opens a whole new world for people. And so to be able to have not only a well-written pattern that follows the rules, a well-done video that clearly shows me what you want me to do, and you're not covering up your hands when you're showing me where to put my hook. Those of us that follow videos, we want to know where you put your hook, and we want to know how many stitches are in the row. Those are the things we always want to know. But and And I go on about this ad nauseum with every designer I talk to. Okay, just so you know, these are the 2 things we want to know.
Good to know. I'll remember that.
We want to know where, we want to see where you're putting your hook. But also your tutorials, your crochet stitch tutorials are fabulous.
Oh, thank you.
And so much of the time, I won't make something because I can't figure out how to do this fancy stitch they want. The star stitch was one that I avoided for a long, long time until I had found a good tutorial on how to make the star stitch. And I'm like, oh, well, this isn't hard. I just didn't know where, because you got to put your hook in the right spot with that first, the first beginning of it, or it's not going to work.
Yeah. I stayed away from tutorials for the longest. One, because I was left-handed and I didn't know how to do the flipping.
And we can do all this, but we can't flip our camera.
Right. Because I didn't think I could teach someone, you know, like again, being left-handed, I guess. And so once I figured that out, and once I figured out how to angle my camera and how to get that's what you need, your hands to be seen, like you said, the hook and where the hook goes. So I've been doing a lot of those lately, and I really enjoy it. It's fun, and it's nice to be able to have that extra piece of resource
information,
for your patterns. Yeah.
Well, and so many people, I'm not surprised, and it seems like an overwhelming number of crocheters can't read patterns. They learned to crochet from YouTube during COVID, or the next door neighbor taught them how to crochet, 4 years ago, but nobody ever taught them to read the pattern. So there is a huge, huge number of people out there that do not read patterns.
Yeah.
And I find that I want a written pattern.
Right. I don't know how you would even follow a video. I mean, if it's a one size thing, but like a garment, like what I do, how would you even do that with just a video as far as sizing and stuff? Yeah.
It is hard sometimes. I follow a lot of Darla, the Crafty Yarn Owl. And I joke that she's got 1,000 patterns. Not 1,000, but she's quite prolific. Every week she's got a new pattern.
Wow.
Every 2 weeks at the outside.
Yeah.
She doesn't write patterns. They are only on YouTube. And she did the very first sweater I ever made was one of her patterns, and she premiered her pattern on my show just like this. And I'm like, I can't do it. She says, yes, you can. And so we named it My First Top, and she challenged me to make it, and I did. And
cool.
Because of the way her patterns are written, you're basically sizing it as you make it. So it's a lot of top-down waggling type stuff. So it's like, okay, when you get here, try it on. And then there's also a lot of, which I love, you start at the bottom, you work up, down, and around, and it's as big as you want it to be. And then you just keep going. So it's the type.
That's cool. Yeah.
But
the type of, that makes sense.
Yeah. And those are also the kind of things that those of us who are afraid of clothing are not afraid to try.
Right. So easier.
I own your patterns. Have I made one? No, because I'm afraid. I'm afraid of clothing.
Well, I will tell you, mine are very basic too. I feel like mine are basic compared to a lot of people, a lot of these designers these days. I love single stitch patterns, like one stitch throughout, or like one or two alternating. I'm very much like, I don't do a lot of, I mean, I have a few, but not a lot of lace where there's like multiple row repeats and stuff like that. I find that I do a lot of basic stitches and just use them different ways to create. And I have like 4 ways I make a sweater or a top. And that's it. Like, I don't ever venture off from that.
Well, 4 ways is pretty complete.
Well, I do top down, bottom up, 3 ways maybe. 4 ways. Panels, like 2 panels sewn together, or side by side, like you were saying, where it goes up and over.
Yeah.
A long panel sewn togetder.
So then there's raglan. So, but other than that, there's
raglan or circular yoke.
Circular yoke.
I like circular yoke. I find those very easy too. And it's
really?
Yes, you just go big circle.
I'm such a scaredy cat.
Huh? No, do it. You should try them. They're really easy. You just do a circle.
Well, I'm going to.
You know, you're increasing every round, and then you get.
And I can do that.
fold it in half. You skip a bunch of stitches to create your armholes, and then you keep working in the round, and it creates the rest of it. And then you have sleeves, and you don't, I mean, a few of my patterns, you don't even do anything after that. Like 1 or 2 of them, that's it. You've got your sleeve. So it's, yeah. So I think mine are pretty basic.
I like I think one of the things that draws me to them is they're not real busy.
Right.
And your patterns are great for showing off beautiful yarn.
Yeah. Yeah. And I do find, I like a good yarn and a good texture. And I'm good. Like, I don't need a lot of frill. I do like to add, like we were talking about the beach bound tank before we started, like a little bit of lacy detail at the bottom, or so, you know, like trim, or I do love ribbing trim, stuff like that. So, but I don't know. I find I'm not much for a big, you know, multiple row stitch repeat that changes, you know, a lot.
Every row is different.
Right. Every now and then, like if it's something, you know, blanket or, you know, something, sometimes that's nice, but I really just like good texture.
Are you a shawl person?
I have some, yeah. And I mean, I wear them. Okay. I always tend to do the like scarf.
The scarves, yeah.
Yeah, like a triangle or like wrapped around my neck or shoulder, you know.
I feel like I can't pull that off.
No.
And I think it's because I'm so chunky down below. Well, maybe that would help bring the attention up here instead of my big bum.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I just like to, I feel like I like to use them more as like around the neck.
And I've made them for people. They're beautiful. I love the way they work up. Cheryl says she uses the transcript to create a written pattern when somebody does not do a pattern. And I do that too. But typically if I'm making something, I'll watch the video first and then I will write out a pattern from the video. I've got books of patterns I've written out from video.
Oh yeah.
I don't want to go back and back and back and back to where I was. Oh my Lord. Cheryl, I told you Cheryl's phenomenal. She designed a blanket with a 48 row.
Wow. You don't get bored with that though, at least.
Boy, I guess. She's phenomenal. She really is. Okay, Michelle, the big reveal. Let's talk about your book.
Okay. What do you want to know?
I want to know everything.
Okay. Whoa, there we go. Crochet Makes for Men is my book that I just published in March. And it is 12 modern and masculine crochet patterns for men. So it's sweaters, it's cardigans, it's hats, it's scarves, it's stylish stuff for the guys. There's just not enough men's patterns. So the way I came up with the book is I realized that my few men's patterns that I had, like I had a slouchy hat that my husband modeled, and I had a sweater, 1 or 2 sweaters that he was wearing in the pictures, and they were my best sellers on Etsy. Like they sold so well. And I was like, I really need to do more men's patterns. And then I was like, wait, I should do a whole collection of men's patterns. And so I decided to self-publish a book that is just full of men's patterns. And the cool thing is that is my oldest son and that is my husband.
That's your husband? So I thought that was one of your sons.
No,
I didn't think our sons were in her 20s, and I have told everybody. I have been talking about your book on here for
37.
weeks, and I keep saying
have to tell him that
her 2 sons are on the cover, and I'm like, these are the 2 boys. These are the 2 sons, and I said,
oh wow.
I said, I know I've seen a third one, but I don't know who he is. And I keep going. One of them is an older teenager, and one of them is a 20-something.
No, that's my husband, and he's.
I mean, 37. You look like you're 14, so it makes sense.
No, yeah. So
That's your husband.
That's my husband.
Okay, bring him up close. We got to see this. Bring this. There's no way he's that man is 22 years at the most.
He'll be 38 this year.
Wow.
We were just talking about how we're getting close to 40. Yeah, and that's my son. He just turned 14. Yeah. And then I have a little one who's not in the book, but he's on some of my other designs, like on Ravelry and Etsy, and he'll be 12 in November. So
I have been telling people, these guys will tell you, I have been telling people for weeks, you've got it looks like you've got a son who's, you know, mid teenage, probably high school, and then one who's probably early college.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, he's going to get such a big head when I tell him that.
This looks like you, brother and sister, and maybe a little brother. That's what it looks like.
Yeah. No, that's
unbelievable. Okay.
Yeah. They did so good.
They did so good. I love it. Maybe I have looked at your Instagram where I've been looking at the shoots, the pictures of the shoots.
Yeah. Yeah. I did some videos. Cute. Yeah. There's one of the hats.
Yeah. Yeah. That's your college age son right there. Yep. That's what I've been telling everybody. Oh, so nice.
Yeah.
Love those.
And Michelle looks like she's in her 20s.
She does. Hi, Steph.
This one's probably my favorite.
I love that one.
This is the Guthrie sweater.
Okay, now here's something I'm afraid of.
Okay.
The color changes, the color blocks, getting it even with the body and the sleeve.
That's all with your rows because it's worked from the bottom up. Oh, wait, there we go. So, and then split into panels right here, the blue, to create your armhole. So then you're seaming your shoulder. So you're just going to attach your gray yarn and it's going to even.
Okay.
Evenly.
Michelle says we can do it. We can do it.
You can do it. It's really simple because that's part of your top panel.
Okay.
So the ease makes it big enough to go over his shoulders.
Yeah, because he's got nice broad shoulders.
You're just gonna start your gray yarn. It's all a matter of the math and the rows and.
Oh, math! There's that word.
But I've already done it all for you. And then let me show you this one, and I have it here. Is the most popular one by far.
Yes.
The hoodie.
I'm gonna make you big again because that is one of the things I want to make. And we were talking about this pattern yesterday on our show.
Yeah.
There are several hood patterns. Oh, look at that. Look at that beautiful sweater.
I want to steal it. He won't let me. He likes it that much. And that was the big thing with the book. I asked them, the boys, Brian and Noah, my sons, like, do you like this? Would you wear this? That kind of thing. And he loves this.
Yeah.
hoodie.
I love that. Isn't that, you guys, isn't that fabulous? And what we were saying is this isn't just another hoodie that you are marketing for men. These are patterns designed for the guys to like. We have no problem grabbing our guys' clothes. Mr. will tell you he owns no coats because the second they come in the house, they're mine. And the same with slippers. He got a beautiful pair. Miss Morgan got him a beautiful pair of slippers for Christmas that I think he got to try on the day he opened them. And then they instantly became mine. So we have no problem stealing their clothing. But it's different to take a female body's pattern and just make it for a guy and say, here you go.
Yeah.
It's just different.
Yeah.
But so everybody knows this story. And the reason I fell in love with your book, show us the vest pattern. Everybody knows this story. I have my yarn wall that I built. My grandson and I built a shelf unit for my bedroom because I have no storage here. And I put up the majority. Oh, there it is. There it is. We put up the majority of my yarn in there. And I'm in the middle of a live one day and Mr. comes bebopping out with this skein of yarn. And I thought, okay, it fell out. He's going to complain about it being on the floor, blah, blah, blah. And he hands it to me and he goes, this is the yarn I want you to make my next vest out of. And I'm like, oh, okay. He goes, you've got a lot of it in there. There should be enough.
There you go. Isn't that nice though when someone requests something for you to make?
Because so many people are like, please God, no, not another hat. But so the joke all this year has been me trying to find a pattern that looks nice, because I didn't love the pattern I used to make his other vest out of. Now, he has chosen a very airy 3-weight, a beautiful soft gray yarn with a lot of loft. And I'm like, how am I going to make this into a vest for you? Well, then one of my lovely viewers said, hold 2 strands. 2 strands of 3 makes a 4. Oh, I thought 2 strands of 3 made a 6.
Yeah, I don't know.
And so
you definitely have to make sure the gauge would work. This, I use Swish worsted for this.
Okay.
So the 3 might work on its own for that one.
Swish a little lighter weight.
It's kind of a lighter weight worsted. So yeah, that might work. I can't figure out where to put a link in here for the book for people. Can I put it here?
I don't know if you can.
No, I don't think I can. You guys can search it on Amazon, Crochet Makes for Men. Or on my site, Two Brothers Blankets, I have a page in the menu that has it too, and it has like
Cheryl stuff. Is that something you can do for me? Cheryl's really good at that stuff, and she's got a blue dress, so she's allowed to do things like that. I'm not good at posting stuff on here. I know there's a way.
Yeah, I don't see it.
Miss Cheryl, can you post her link either to Amazon? And Amazon, I just went right to her name. Is it in Ravelry?
You can buy the patterns individually on Ravelry. Okay.
But no, we want
to the whole book. But I have if she goes to my Two Brothers Blankets, it's twobrothersblankets.com/men's crochet patterns.
Okay.
It should pop up. Or just go to my homepage and it's right there, Crochet Makes for Men pattern book.
So Miss Cheryl will find it. She's awesome at this. She's always doing this kind of stuff.
But it's also on Amazon. You can search it or you can Google it. It'll come up. If you Google it, it should come up too. So,
okay. So how much is the book nowadays? Because I know there was a special when it first came out and I missed that.
Yeah, they put it on sale. That was all Amazon. So I choose like they tell me how much it costs and then I choose a certain price. And then they sometimes put it on sale and stuff. So it's $18.99 for the paperback version, which is this.
What a great price.
The Kindle version for $14.99, also on Amazon, or you can purchase it. There we go. She got it. That's the link. You can purchase the ebook from my website as well. So that link will take you to all the information for it.
Nice.
So, yeah. It's exciting.
I cannot wait. And one of the reasons I missed the sale is because I was hemming and hawing trying to decide, do I want the print version or do I want the Kindle version? And I went back and I, to be honest, I'll probably end up buying the Kindle version as well. I've ordered the print version from you, so I know that's on the way.
Yeah.
But the Kindle version, I think the reason I like the idea of a Kindle version is because I can take it with me.
Right.
It'd be right there.
Right there, on your device to download easily.
I am that person, and I know there's a way. Everybody's going to yell at me. You can do that on your Kindle. I want to underline things. Oh, thank you, Jet. Jet went and just ordered it.
Thanks.
So I want to be able to underline things. I want to be able to put stars. I want to be able to write notes. And I know
there's lots of space in here too.
Yeah.
I did that on purpose. Like me and my husband were talking about that. Like just little spots that you can.
Yes. I love that.
Add your little notes and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's not like the very glossy paper, like the photo. It's not. It's more. It's a high quality. It's a really nice quality. The pictures look really great in it.
Yeah, they do.
It's still more of a easier to write on paper too. So
and those models you hired for the book are phenomenal. You did great.
They did some free work.
I cannot believe that is your husband. I'm stunned.
He is going to get a kick out of that one.
I'm stunned. Yeah.
Yeah.
You did good.
Thank you. I did. I got very lucky.
Yeah. Mister's over here going, well, I look that young. No.
No. There's my raglan. This one's really simple.
That's so pretty.
Yep. So there's 6 garments and 6 accessories, 3 hats and 2 scarves, 5 accessories, 4 hats and 2 scarves. There is 6, 4 hats and 2 scarves. So, and then 6 garments, including a vest, a cardigan, a hoodie, and some sweaters. So A little bit of everything, something the guys will like. And I really, really focused on making them modern and comfortable. Like that's the other thing about garments, like crochet garments we were talking about. They can be really warm and they can be uncomfortable depending on what kind of yarn you choose and stuff. So I really focus on like lighter weights. I find lighter weights really are more comfortable for garments, sweaters, stuff like that. Even though you would think a worsted or something would be, you know, it really gets warm.
Yeah, they do.
It doesn't have the like drape and feel, like fabric feel that a lightweight yarn would do. So,
yeah. Well, the funny thing is, we look at the cover of this, and you've got two sweaters. They're very considerable sweaters, and you live in Florida.
Yeah, we did this in January on purpose so that
but Florida January is different from Washington State and Wisconsin.
Yes, it was
Wisconsin 70s. January is different than Florida.
But they could survive in these while we were taking pictures in January. Whereas now, I tried to take pictures last week of a summer top, basically tank top, in fingering weight yarn, and I was dying. I was like, ah. So, yeah, we did it in January. It was really, we had a really nice winter this year. Like, it didn't really get super warm, but it wasn't really cold either. The humidity goes away in the winter here.
Oh, yeah.
So that's the key. Like that's what happens. The humidity is so much lower, so it helps so much. So, yeah, we got it done in the winter, and yeah, they did great.
Well, and the pictures are gorgeous. The patterns are gorgeous. Gwen's asking about a t-shirt and or a tank top. Not in this book, Gwen, but she does. In fact, one of the first thing I asked her about today was, I'm like, Saf, you don't live in Tampa. I know that. She lives in it's very tropical.
Yeah, I'm actually just south of Tampa by like 30 minutes. Parrish, Florida.
That's funny. So I know she's got a gorgeous tank top, because that's what first drew me to Michelle, was this tank top. Do you happen to have a picture or anything nearby? I can pull my picture up.
That one. I think that one's in a bin in my garage.
Right here on.
Oh yeah, I can pull it up on my phone.
Okay, top.
I have lots of tank tops, and until this year, I had like 2 men's patterns, and the rest are all women's patterns and a few kids' patterns.
That's the top that I fell in love with, and it's terrible on this picture, but it's a basic tank top, but it's got a really cute little detail on the bottom. I have a question, and I understand if you can't answer off the top of your head. With that particular tank top, because the bottom on it, the cute little thing on the bottom is a couple of inches, can you increase that, like do it again and make it, I like a wide, because
I think so, because at the very end, here's a bigger.
There it is. Yeah, I love that.
The very end is like a picot.
Picot.
Yeah. So you could do it into the little space and like just do it,
and then just do another round of it. I think I'm going to try that, because I love that detail. And I've got a couple like lace tanks, and it's got, the lace is about 4 inches wide, and it's with my body, that little bit wider seems to be a little bit better.
Yeah, and that
okay, so we're getting a lot of questions about what kind of patterns you make. So just roughly, just kind of run through. So about how many patterns do you think you have?
I have 260. Something like that.
Wow. Okay. So I'm going to guess you've got everything we could possibly want, but just throw out some patterns. We know you've got scarves and hats and blankies. What kind of blankies do you have?
I do have a lot of baby blankets. I have a little bit of everything, really. I have a few throw blankets. I really like throw, like lap style blankets. But all my blankets, I think all of them have the multiples, so you can make it any size, and some of them even have like size charts, so you can tell you exactly how many. I do mostly garments and accessories, so like your wearables, your tops, your sweaters, your hats, your scarves. I have a few bags, stuff like that. All your fashion accessories and wearables and stuff like that. I really enjoy making tops and sweaters and stuff like that. So
somebody's asking specifically, do you have a ladies hoodie? I think that hoodie you've got right there is perfect for either.
I do. Yes, you can. I do have one. It's old, so I'm not gonna. I need to work on it. But this one, you could, like, these patterns you could totally make in your size. The difference is, so they're in men's sizes. The size chart is for men, but the difference I have found with making men's versus women's is, for women you go with the bust size. That's your size that you can go off of. For men, you have to go with the shoulders. Men have broader shoulders. Like, my boys are like literally like a V. Their shoulders are so big, and then they go down their little skinny things around the waist. So you have to account for the shoulder, the broad shoulders of a guy. So if you wanted to make this for yourself, like a hoodie like this for yourself, go off of the bust size.
Okay.
And you should have a good fit. This one fits me. This one is a large. I typically wear a medium or large. And I can wear this, and it's slightly oversized and comfortable, but he won't let me steal it. Yeah. So, you just would go off of the bust size. So, like, my husband, his chest bust area would put him into a size small, but because of his shoulders and they're so much broader, a large is what fits comfortably. Like, the first sweater I made a size small, and I put it on him, and I was like, no. This is way too tight. And it was because of his shoulders, and it fits my son perfectly. So I have to, even with my little guy, I have to go off of shoulder sizes because he's getting to that age where his shoulders are getting broader. And so I do shoulders with the guys, bust with the girls.
Okay. Yep. So then I'm looking at the men's hoodie. I'm going to look at the chest size and compare that to my bust to decide what size.
The book will explain. Yep. The book explains exactly how to do it. Like how to
see, she's thought of everything.
Well, it took me, it was a huge learning process to, like, okay, I need to do shoulder measurements. And if his shoulders are this much bigger than the chest, then I need to use that size and go with the size that matches the shoulder measurements versus. So it was a learning process for sure. So the sizes for the book are men small through 5X. So their size inclusive as well. And she said extra large, tall. They're all customizable. So you can easily make them as tall for anybody, and tall, short, whatever. So
yeah, I've got gorilla arms. Every time I buy something, my sleeve is that. So I always have
That's the nice thing about crocheting your own clothing. You can make it with those extra, like, you have extra long arms or whatever, long torso. My husband's all torso. My sons are all legs. So I have to adjust.
Yeah, I am short-waisted, so everything is
right a little bit. Yeah. See, I have short arms. Every time my testers do arm, like, I can't go off of what my arms. I have to go. Because they were like, I needed to add 10 rounds. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I learned that. Yeah. So
I was watching somebody, and I have no idea who it was, and she said it was like top 10 hints for making clothing. And she said, always make your arms at least an inch longer than you think you need.
Yes. Yes. Always make them a little longer, because it's just, you know how we always do. We pull them and and we like to, pull them up. So I've learned that as well. Always make them a little bit longer.
Yes. Her kids and son are all over 6 feet tall.
Oh yeah. Yeah. My son is 14 and just hit 6 feet. So he's going to be really tall.
That's like
my husband's right at 6 feet.
He came over yesterday and gave me Sunday and gave me a hug, and my head goes to his shoulders now. And I'm like, you're 14. What the heck? I'm typically taller than all the girls in my family. And I'm usually taller than the grands until they hit high school, and then they shoot up. Yeah. But I'm like, he went from here to here over a summer, and I'm like, oh, wow.
Yep.
So it's so funny to see him that tall. Oh, okay. To the top of your hand, not your wrist. So yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, there's just all these cool little tricks that having this community we're able to share. I love. I mean, I haven't even had it in my hot little hand yet. And it took everything in my power to not buy the individual patterns because I knew I was buying the book. But
yes, and the book is the cheaper route to go. So if you like more than one, you're going to save a lot more by buying the book for sure.
And it was so funny because I was just flipping through your patterns. I'm like, oh, look at that pretty sweater. And I look and I'm like, oh yeah, I already own it. It's in my library. I already bought that one. So it's interesting how when you Cheryl, who is a genius at this, measures her arms with a bent arm. So she goes here and then here. So you've got that movement built in. That's nice.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Gwen, is that the granddaughter that steals all the prizes I send to you? She wins at bingo a lot. And every time she wins something, she's like, my granddaughter will be stealing that. She won some cute socks yesterday. Yeah. Yes, she does have her channel on YouTube. The link is down below in the description box. And it is, just go to Two Brothers Blankets and it pops up. Mm-hmm. She hasn't been on YouTube for a long, long time. And about a year, a little over a year.
Yeah, well, consistently, yeah. I think it was 21 that I started consistently.
Yeah, so a couple years. And but she's been doing her blog for quite some time. And I think I originally connected with her from a blog, and I think it was that beautiful tank. One of the things I like about that tank is you don't have to wear something underneath of it. And that's what drew me to it. Plus that beautiful little design at the bottom. It's just so pretty. So we're super excited about your new book and about good. Thank you so much. Yeah, go throw some yarn in her window, y'all. Having the patterns that Mr. likes and finding a vest that is well made and he's going to like, and I can use this beautiful yarn that he's picked out. I keep trying to find other yarn and he's like, no, I want this one. Okay, that's the yarn we'll use. So I'll find a pattern that it'll work on. But yeah. And I know I want to make one of those other sweaters for my other gran, and of course that hoodie. We all want to make that hoodie. And somebody on here, I didn't want to bypass them. It was earlier on. Somebody had said they've already bought your book and they're already working on their second pattern. If you're still in here, let me know what the patterns are. What did you make the first time and what are you making now? It was way early on. And I meant to mention it. It's when we were talking about the left-handed stuff.
Oh.
Let me see if I can find it. It was before Cheryl got on. I don't, but that's just so fun to see what people are making. And it was Hal, wasn't it Hal? I want to say it was Hal, and I haven't seen him talk for a bit. But yeah, they had said, yep, it was Hal Crochets. It says, great book. Make sure you check it out. I'm on my second pattern from the book. But I don't think they're in here anymore. Because, one of the things that we not only do we collect yarn, we don't hoard yarn, we collect yarn. And we collect, there it is. Oh,
okay.
Tester for the Reed Raglan, and now you're making the hoodie. Mm-hmm. How exciting. We also collect patterns. I know in Ravelry alone, I have over 1,000 patterns. And I do not buy, as a rule, if there's any possible way around it, I do not buy patterns from Etsy because I find them very difficult to access.
Yes.
I can buy it, no problem. Then trying to get to it, forget about it. I have sometimes I bought patterns more than once because I can't get to it. And then
they really need to fix that.
Yeah. And then they went from this process to that process. And anything you had in the old stuff is almost impossible to get to. So I don't buy patterns on Etsy. And I tell designers, hey, if you have an option, do something in addition to Etsy. Because I know there's people that love Etsy and can't stand Ravelry. I can't stand Etsy, and I do everything on Ravelry. And now I just downloaded some program. And it's a knitting program that it's supposed to take a PDF pattern, put it on my computer, and let me follow along and highlight and make notes and things like that. Well, it works with all of my Dropbox and all of my Ravelry patterns. So everything that I have in Dropbox and Ravelry transferred right to that. I didn't have to do anything except click a button. Nice. So yeah, but Etsy patterns, it's almost impossible to get to the pattern once me, and I'm sure it's all me. So
no, Etsy needs to do it better with their access. Surprisingly, though, I sell more patterns on Etsy than I do Ravelry.
I think people are more, they expect to go to Etsy. I'm
easier to search. I think
I'm on Etsy SEO all the time, and as soon as I find a pattern I want, I go to Ravelry and see if it's there. Every time. Yeah. And sometimes I have even contacted a designer and said, hey, is there somewhere else I can purchase this? I hate buying from Etsy.
Yeah, for sure.
Cheryl, I'll have to figure it out because you know me. I did just recently download it. Maybe it's in my recent download stuff. Oh, is this it? Crochet chart. I don't know if that's the one. Continue, because I downloaded, stop. I downloaded a couple of things. No, I think it's this one. Yeah, it's this one. There's all my patterns in there. It's called, see, I've done nothing but open this thing up. I know I don't want to upgrade. It's called Knitter's Companion. It's a very well-known program. Knit Companion. I saw it from one of the knitting blogs that I watch. They talk about this a lot. And so I'm like, okay, I'm going to try that. But the reason I liked it because it was knit or crochet. And basically it just pulls up your pattern and then you've got it right there with you when you're wandering around. And you can, being able to highlight, keep track of stuff. And like when I do a pattern, like, you know, yours have multiple sizing, I print it out and then I highlight the size that I'm doing so that my eye doesn't get lost while I'm doing stuff. And I find that helps me a lot when I'm following along in a pattern. And sometimes I will, if it's a repeat, I'm going to, you know, make marks on it, which repeat I'm on, which, you know, or, you know, do this 6 times. Okay, I've done it 1, 2, 3. I write all over my patterns. So that's, I have to have a written pattern. Thank you. I'm glad you found it, Cheryl. I hope you figured it out so you can teach me how to use it. But one of the things that it talked about was having charts. I'm just learning to use charts, not graphs, charts. I always get the two confused. And so with the symbols, and I'm where we talked about before, where do I put my hook? When you've got the symbol graph, you can tell where to put your hook because it clearly shows you. But a lot of times that's what messes me up. I also want to talk about, and we were just talking about this the other day. I did not realize that you have a Fair Isle pattern. And maybe you have more than one. I just saw the one with the little hearts. So it was the hearts that caught my eye. Oh, yeah. I'm a total heart person. And then when I'm like, wait, this is Fair Isle. She's got a tutorial. So correct me if I'm wrong. Fair Isle is the one where we carry the yarn in the back. So when you turn it inside out, you can see the yarn strands in the back. Yep. Yep. All right. I made a hat out of Fair Isle. I didn't know what I was doing. Yes, there it is. Can you show us the inside? Oh, let me tell you something else that is a pet peeve of mine. Love it. Love it. So that's called stranded crochet, Fair Isle crochet, and the strands are supposed to show. In the back. This is another thing that is, it's not, I don't know if it's a pet peeve of mine, but it's a wish of mine. When people are showing me things, show me the back. Show me what it looks like on the back. They only want to show you the beautiful, pretty front side. And I think I totally messed it up because of what it looks like on the other side. Show me the other side. Okay. So here's my experience with Fair Isle knitting. It was one of the very first things I had ever knit. somebody convinced me that I could test a pattern for them. And I'm like, dude, I've made like one hat in my life. That's my entire experience with knitting. And she said, no, I want somebody who's brand new. See how they do a pattern. Okay. Her Ravelry name is everything is Two Brothers Blankets or the Michelle Ferguson.
You can search me.
In fact, just now I searched her under Michelle Ferguson. It popped right up. So here was the thing. I didn't know what I didn't know. First of all, I was using 3 colors, and apparently that's hard. But I thought, well, I can follow charts, so this shouldn't be hard. And it wasn't. Following the chart was very easy to do. And you followed that chart. You multiplied the chart because it was candy canes all the way around a hat. And the ribbing was fine. And then the hat was this big. Because with stranded crochet, it gets tighter or knit. It gets tighter and tighter and tighter as you make it because of those strands. So you have to stretch it out.
Watch the tension. Yeah.
I didn't know that. So my question is that the same thing with crochet as it is? Well, you don't knit, but somebody who's
you do have to watch your tension for sure. Like you have to, and I think I talk about it in the video. You don't want to do more than like 5 stitches before you now I can't even remember what it's called, before you grab your yarn and work over it and then do some more, because
carry, you don't want to carry more than 5 stitches,
right? Because you hold it behind it, and then when you after about 5 stitches, you'll grab it, work over it like you would like tapestry, just the 1 stitch, and then keep going if you're doing more than 5 stitches or whatever. So that keeps it from pulling and like bunching up and all that. So yeah, you got to watch your tension and how many stitches you do and all that. So
because it's a beautiful pattern, and I'm now that I've seen that, I'm very excited. That's going on my list. My list of 1,000 things to make. But because it is that style, I want to make something where I carry the yarn like that to the fair.
Yeah.
We were literally talking about a Sunday in our Dana and Robin Go to School, because we talk about the different things that we learn and want to learn. And that's one of the things that we both want to learn how to do well. She's much better crocheter than I am, but and much more adventurous. I'm kind of a scaredy cat with all this stuff. It's so weird because I'm doing my very first craft show, and that's a whole nother debacle. But I'm doing my very first craft show, and I don't make small things. I make blankets. And every time I do a blanket, I'm like, that's not big enough. I want it bigger. So now, hey, Bridget. So now I am making all these small things that I never would have tried before. And I'm not sure, but I think I designed something, because this is a soap sack and you put your bars of soap in there. But I like the idea of putting, when you go to the hotels and you always get those little bars of soap, and I always keep them and I never use them, but this would be perfect for all those little bars of hotel soap. So I was doing this pattern, and I think I accidentally designed something, because I was looking at all these patterns and I didn't love any of them. And so I'm like, okay, I did this kind of base, and then I did this part. I like what you did on this one, and I like what you did on this one, and I like how you ended that, and I love the loop on this one. And then I went to do this. I'm like, I don't like that. So I did my own little thing. And then when I was done, I realized I had created this. And I went to write out the pattern, and I'm like, I did this pattern.
There you go.
I accidentally created a pattern. Cool. And it's really not. I'm sure somebody else did it, but I like it. It's cute. And I'm thinking market bag. I can make this size, and I've got a market bag.
Yeah.
I'm sure somebody else somewhere did the exact same thing. Yeah, the soap savers. So, okay, thank you so much for joining us, Al. I hope you'll pop in for Monday Night Bingo. So we love all your patterns. We love everything we do. We love the quality of your product. We love the thought and design and design features that you're putting into your men's patterns, because like you said, there are so few men's patterns out there. And I'll be honest, the crochet men's patterns that are the crocheted vests, they're not very attractive. I have searched the world over for crocheted men's vest, and the 6 patterns that pop up.
Yeah.
And I was doing the same thing. In fact, I had found a woman's pattern, and I'm like, maybe I just gotta adjust, because it was like a man's style woman's over, and she wore it over the men's dress shirt, and it looked very nice, but it was kind of cropped, and I'm gonna have to elongate it. And I'm like, And then your pattern popped up, and I fell in love. And Mr. likes it, and so I'm like, okay,
awesome.
Okay, I can do this.
Yay.
I cannot wait. So it's not going to be till later this year, because I've got. Do you make lists of things you're going to do?
What?
Do you make lists of projects you're going to work on?
Oh, yes. Never ending.
Never ending. Do you keep to your list?
Most of the time, yes, because I have to put them out there for
That's
patterns.
True.
Yeah.
Yours is a little different. Yours is a little different.
Mm-hmm.
So it always amazes me, the design process. I'm bewildered by it. But you get an idea in your head, and then do you just go with it? Or is it more kind of like, I started this and I didn't like what I was finding, so I just did my own thing?
It depends. Usually I'll get an idea, find a yarn, and go with it. Now that I'm like, this is my business and making an income from it, I plan ahead, like way ahead. Like I have a list and for the year and stuff like that. So I get an idea, I write it down, and then I go down my list.
That's just it's just amazing to me that somebody can go, I'm going to design a sweater today. But, and those of you that do it, they're phenomenal. Absolutely. What is your view on socks?
I've never designed a sock.
You make
if that helps.
Crochet them?
I have crocheted one.
Pair or one?
Just one.
Okay. Yeah, that's kind of the way I am too with the whole sock thing. I
have no need for them. So.
Oh, that's true. You're in Florida.
Yeah. So I don't. They're cute, and I feel like they'd be great if I lived somewhere really cold. But no.
But even when it's warm, I find the AC is too much in most places, and so I'm still gonna. I almost always have socks and slippers on. Even if I'm officially barefoot, I still have slippers on because my feet are cold, because the silly AC is on. Yeah. I did not wear flip-flops as a rule until I moved to Texas, until I lived in Texas for a year. And I wore shorts for like the first time in my life. I mean, I wear shorts, but again, it's 90 or 100 degrees outside, but everybody's house and every store you go to, they've got the AC at 60. So I've got on a coat to go to the store. Or a movie. Oh my Lord. I always take a blanket with me to a movie. Always. Because it's so freaking cold in those places. So I rarely actually wear my sandals or flip-flops and shorts out, because any place you go is cold. So I tend to wear my jeans all the time. Oh, that's a great question. How do you have a set of testers, or do you do a tester call when it's ready?
I do. I have a tester subscription, like email that I put out when I have a testing call. You can sign up for that at my website too, but like up in the menu it says subscribe. I think it's the second form. It says, would you like to test for me?
I typically don't, because they want you to be proficient on the TikTok and the Instagram and all those things.
Yeah, no, I don't really like that. I like for them to be able to take a good picture of it, because I like for people to put it in their Ravelry projects. So people can see, like you said, what it looks like on other people, on other sizes and stuff like that. But I don't necessarily, I mean, a lot of them ask to post on Instagram and stuff, but I don't
require it.
Want a requirement. Yeah.
Oh, that's good to know. Because usually I don't apply to be a tester. First of all, because I'm not good enough. But second of all, because I don't want to mess with all those things. And I was shocked. Somebody picked me to be a tester, and it was the cutest. And I wanted to do it because it was a baby hat. And, we got our new grandbaby. And so she wanted us of course, to model it, well, my grandbaby wasn't born yet. And so my baby hat got modeled on a CPR mannequin, a baby CPR mannequin. It was a little big for the sizing of the mannequin, but it looked so cute. And I made the smallest size, and it was still too big for my CPR mannequin. But it was really cute. And again, she used that star stitch and did a very good job of explaining how to do it. And so that was fun. And we put it on the Ravelry. And so that's, you guys can see my thing on my Ravelry there. I am Robin Loves Yarn. Robin Loves Yarn. That's who I am on Ravelry. What's the most important thing for a tester to know?
Don't test it if you can't commit to it. Like, don't apply. That's annoying.
You got to make the deadline.
Well, even if you can't make the deadline, like, just do it. Like, complete it. Or if you have to, I mean, there's plenty of times when people haven't been able to, and I'm like, okay, that's fine. That, and don't murder, that's not the word, but like, don't tear to shreds the pattern. Like, the other thing is, don't change the pattern.
Don't make a bunch of adjustments.
Exactly is written, even if you think it's bad, even if you think there's a better way, you can add that in your suggestions and your feedback, but don't crochet, oh, I made this, and this stitch, or I changed the stitch, or the whole point of testers is so that we can see if the pattern works, like if other people can crochet up the pattern. So don't change the pattern. Don't find stuff just for the sake of having feedback. Like, if it, you know what I mean? Like, sometimes people just like tear it to shreds, and it's like, okay, like, because they think it could be better, and I'm like, I just need to know if this works. Okay.
Does this make sense? Do you understand it? Does it turn into what it's supposed to be?
Yeah, exactly. And then if you have suggestions, please, I would love to hear them. But I really don't like when people just like change it or like, this isn't going to work. And also, probably most importantly, check your gauge. And if you have to go up a couple hook sizes, that's normal. Or down a couple hook sizes, like, it's normal. I have a lot of people that are like, oh, I had to go up 2 hook sizes and it's still not there. And I'm like, well, go up another one. You know, like.
Well, yeah. The first time, and if you're not used to doing gauge, which a lot of us are not, when you're making a garment, I always do a gauge with a garment. And I tell people this all the time. I always make a gauge when I'm doing a garment.
Yes,
I always make a gauge when I'm doing a kit, because I don't want to run out of yarn if I have bought a kit. Which I buy a lot of kits. And but with a gauge, you really get a feel for the pattern and working with the yarn you're working with. And sometimes not all yarn works great with all stuff.
Right.
You might have to change things. And I crochet differently than you crochet.
Yes. Everything, so like, when tension.
Yeah, your gauge and my gauge are not going to be the same.
Especially for wearables, which is what most of my tests are. So gauge is huge. Gauge is important. I love also when people share their progress and try on often as you go. If you're doing a wearable, try it on often. And then that's where you can be like, this is a little tight here. Can I go up a hook size? And I'd be like, yes, of course. Like, I want it to fit you.
And see, that might have worked with that hat that I tested. I never checked in with her while I was making it.
Checking. I always try to do like a group, an Instagram chat, or a Facebook group. I have a few Facebook groups that I've made for testers and all that. But yeah, that's what I have to do. And I'm going to have to cut it short. I got to get my son to an appointment.
Thank you so
I realize we've been talking for an hour and a half.
This is what happens in here. I told you, it's just like two friends chatting. I had a wonderful time with you today, and I really appreciate you spending your time with us and sharing all of this interesting information. Can't wait to get my book.
Yes, thank you so much. I've had a blast. This has been so fun.
Good. I hope we can have you on again sometime in the future.
That'd be great. And thank you for everyone who shared my links and all that stuff. Definitely be in contact. I'm, like I said, I'm on the Facebook, Instagram, and then my website, Ravelry, Etsy, all Two Brothers Blankets, or Michelle Ferguson. You can search me and you'll find me.
Thank you.
I'm going to have to run though, but thank you so much. Thank you, Robin.
Alrighty,
we'll be in touch. Let me know when your book comes.
I will. So yeah, I ordered a book, and I don't even think it was a week ago that I ordered it. So I knew it wasn't going to be here in time. I even ran to the mailbox this morning, hoping against hope that it would be there. But it's my own fault. I kept putting it off and I kept putting it off. And I knew as soon as I booked her to do this today, I wanted to have her book in my hand. But you guys know my world. I always have 400 more things that I want to do that I absolutely cannot do. But thank you so much for coming in this morning. Wasn't she just a doll? Oh my gosh, I cannot believe how young they all look. I truly thought that was her son in those pictures. I did not know that was her husband. I did not know. I just think that's so funny. So yeah, so we got some great patterns. And I know with Father's Day is in a month. So probably we couldn't finish up something in there. Well, maybe some of you guys can. A lot of you guys crochet a lot faster than I do. But there might be something in there that you can whip up for Father's Day. And that is, again, the other reason I wanted to highlight these wonderful men's patterns. I ran into a conversation about making things for someone else. And I'm curious to see what your guys' take is on this. Especially those of you who make a lot of presents for other people. Oh, she's doing a presentation. Ellen says she's doing a presentation for something, and I want to know what she's got to say there. I ran into a blog post about making gifts for people and how so often we make something for someone and they flat don't like it. And this gal said that after she made something for someone and the person didn't like it, just did not like it. And from that moment on, what she did is, instead of giving somebody a gift, here's the blanket I made you, here's the sweater I made you, she made the person part of the whole process. So let's say it's Father's Day, and I'm gonna go to Mr. and I'm gonna say, I'm going to make this gift for you. Instead of presenting him with the finished product, I'm going to make this gift for you. Would you like to be involved? Do you want to help pick out the yarn? Do you want to help pick out the color? Do you want to help pick out the pattern? How involved do they want to be? Now, as we know, Mr. has already picked out his yarn. He doesn't care what pattern I do as long as it's a V-neck. And I've showed him a couple of patterns and he's like, I don't really like the way the neck looks. Oh yeah, I like that neck. One of them, the neck went way too low. He didn't like that. He wants the V-neck and he wants to hit him just about like where a t-shirt would. I know these things about him. And then as you're going along, I can try it on him. I can make sure this thing is going to fit appropriately. If the yarn isn't working up well, I can say, I know this is the yarn you want, but it really isn't working well for this process. Let's pick out a different yarn. Or the lady whose blog I was reading said it was actually, she was going to make a sweater for her sister. And so they went yarn shopping together. And so they actually got more time together out of her sister being involved in the process than just presenting with a finished sweater. And they both loved it more because of that. The sister got to pick out the exact color she wanted, and the one who was making it didn't have the pressure of it being done, but definitely it stayed in the forefront because the sister would be going, how's my sweater coming? How's my sweater looking? Now, if you've got one of those people in your world that is, where's my sweater? Where's my sweater? That's not going to work. But she has found doing it that way has been far less stressful and completely eliminates the, oh, thanks, aspect of making a gift for someone. And she said there has been a couple people where she has said, I would like to make a blanket for you. And they've said, that's not really something that I would enjoy. I couldn't say that to someone, but there's people that do. I have a friend in my world who has no problems telling me she does not want anything crocheted in her house. And so I don't even think about it. Although she likes my washcloths. She likes my crocheted washcloths. She likes things that are knit. She just doesn't like things that are crocheted. Know your audience. Some people don't like handmade stuff. They don't understand. They don't understand it. They don't understand how much time goes into it, how much work goes into it. So ever since that, I still make gifts, and I made that baby blanket, but I knew I was making that baby blanket no matter what. And that mommy does a little bit of crochet, so she gets it. She understands what's involved in it, and she appreciates handmade things. She didn't used to until she started crocheting herself. Now she really appreciates those kind of things. But yeah, isn't that an interesting concept, that involve them in the whole gift project? Now, if you're kind of like me and have 47 projects at a time going on, that might not work out. I can't tell you how many times I've told my daughter, do you like this? Do you want me to make this for you? And then it's not even on my list of things to make. But if she said, I love this, I would like you to make this for me, it would go right to the top of the heap. And having her help pick out colors, having her help pick out patterns would definitely add some urgency to the project. So it's just a thought. It's just something to think about as we make these gifts, as we think of Father's Day and Mother's Day and birthdays and Christmas. And we put a lot of time, energy, work, money, blood, sweat, and tears into these projects. And somebody goes, oh, thanks. And they have no interest whatsoever in it. So it's just an idea, and maybe a way to make something that we love doing and have the receiver appreciate it as much as we want it to be appreciated. Anyway, that's just my soapbox for now. Thank you guys so very much for coming in today. And Cheryl, I know it's 2 in the freaking morning. I really appreciate all the help that you give me on here, Cheryl, popping these things on and these links and things that I'm not good at doing while I'm talking to someone. As of right now, this was the last interview that I have scheduled. Possibly this fall, unless something fabulous just pops in and I'm able to connect with something amazing. I'm kind of going away from the interviews. I very much enjoy them. I very much enjoy meeting the people and bringing the information to you. But as of right now, this is something that I'm going to kind of ease away from. And there will be some interviews here and there, but it's not going to be a regular scheduled thing like you guys are used to. I really appreciate you guys having come to these. I appreciate all the comments, and I appreciate us sharing love with some new people that we have met and got to become friends with. So make sure you guys pop in for the Rad Girls, which is going to be starting in about 20 minutes, 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock, what time zone am I in? Pacific. It has been a day already. 10 o'clock Pacific. We will see you guys in a few minutes. Thanks you very much. My husband, yeah. It's nice when the people in our world are involved and appreciate the things that we do. So we'll see you guys soon.